We are recording the call. Everybody will have been muted upon entry, so if you do want to speak, go ahead and just unmute yourself. Again, Aquatic board members, if you can go ahead and put your contact information and the region that, or your position on the board, that would be awesome. Just a reminder to open both the chat function and the participant window. So the chat function, we're monitoring it for any questions. The participant window will allow me to go ahead and see if you are raising your hand at any point so we can get to you. I'm also looking for people too. I can visually see some people. Let me see, did I miss anything? Operator group contacts, if you want to go ahead, if you are a chair or president of one of the operator groups, go ahead and put your information in the sidebar chat as well. And then if you guys have at any point additional topics you want to discuss on these Zooms, please go ahead and forward me the information. I will put my email address into the chat. And I am getting text messages. So those of you who are on the phone right now, if you would prefer to sign in via your computer, again, it did get password protected, and the password is CPRS Zoom.
I've gotten a few emails.
Yeah, and
is that sent out somewhere? I saw it in one of Jay's emails for a different Zoom, so I just assumed it was the same password.
Yeah, so I don't know if we managed, I don't recall if it was actually sent out in our updates on Friday. It literally happened very quickly. It happened like, it cascaded across a bunch of stuff Thursday morning on, but we did put it into our chat invite. My phone is like blowing up right now. Apologize. We did put it in our, yeah, Karen said she found it on the Facebook page. So yeah, that's where Stephanie updated that yesterday for us. So, cool. Okay, Justin, thanks. I got you. So yeah, so again, anybody on the call, go ahead. If you'd rather, if you're on the phone, you can go ahead and hop on via the link, but the password is CPRS Zoom. So cool.
Sure.
Okay. Again, it's kind of more of an open forum today, so I'm going to go ahead and start with the question. You know, has anybody gained any limited access? Have they opened based off of limited access, or they've gained any approvals to open earlier than initially anticipated with their facilities? It looks like Justin from City of, it's not Berkeley. All right, has not been given authorization to open, but have been led to believe that the health office should be allowing it in June, in the June order. So that's good news. It's great news. We're still hanging tight in Sacramento County, so.
Hey there, folks. Anthony Schreiber with the City of Pacifica. I am in San Mateo County, and actually we could have opened starting this past Monday, but we're not opening quite yet because we're still trying to figure out what that's going to look like. And we're going to start out with just lap swim and water aerobics. And so we're working on how we're going to load those swimmers into our facility, the one way out, the signage, protocols, the sneeze guards, the plastic barriers for cashiers, the whole guards. So we're looking to start that July 6th. So that's some good news. And what we're looking to do it is we want to do Sign Up Genius. I don't know if anybody has looked at this, but we don't want to have a madhouse to where it used to be first come, first serve, and you kind of come and swim. But now, obviously, we are going to create time slots of 45 minutes per swim and then have 15 minutes in between each hour so that we could clean and sterilize anything that they may have used, such as chairs, common use areas, door handles, jar bars, countertops, the whole 9 yards. But so that's some good news. We're looking to open back up July 6th, but again, just for water aerobics and lap swim. And I was kind of surprised of how soon that county order came out, but it was very vague that we need to comply with all the social distancing protocols, 6 feet apart, things of that nature, wearing face masks. And so we're in the process of getting that all down on paper, and then we're going to have a training in the next 2 weeks. go for it on July 6th. What I'm wondering is anybody else thought of how they're going to register their swimmers for lap swim or water aerobics, and if they're thinking about utilizing any other reservation system? Just started looking into Sign Up Genius today. It looks savvy, and it's free too, but I was just wondering if anybody else is looking into that type of system.
We're going to be using Civic Rec for our pre-registration, and we got these tickets to work yesterday, and I got them to scan into Civic Rec so I can validate entry without any interaction with staff. So that was a big win for our IT department yesterday, because they've been trying to do this for like 10 years. So that's what I'm going with right now. We're using the same process for our skate park, which is open for free, but the validation of the tickets is something new that we're going to put into place with this.
Thanks, Justin. That was a Pacific Rec. Is that the software you guys use?
It's Civic Rec.
Civic Rec, sorry. Civic Rec. Excellent, thank you.
Looks like Karen posted in the chat, they're looking into reservations through registration platform Perfect Mind.
Thanks, Karen.
Others are also looking at Sign Up Genius.
Mind Body.
Mind Body Online is another option for group classes and all fitness. So thanks, Brian, for that too. Cool. Awesome. So anybody else want to kind of state their status of where they are at with potentially opening their facilities? All right, anybody have questions on specific programs? And I can also pop up the facility guideline document that was chatted about last week. Okay,
Oh,
well,
I actually had one real quick.
perfect, thank you.
Brian Wells from JCCSF. I had a question. I'm sure some of you guys, especially probably you, Anthony, down in San Mateo, in regards to more of camps and just how, if anybody is talking about camps integrating into the pool within any aspect. I don't know if you guys are familiar or if anybody's is different. Basically for San Francisco right now, they're talking about camps can operate on a 3-week basis with cohorts of 10. And so that just got me thinking in the sense of, okay, if we're operating a camp in that sense, we could, in a way, do camp free swim really, because it's, you know, whether you agree with it or not, the legislation that came through for, I believe, San Francisco and I believe San Mateo is very similar. Sharing of tools and social distancing within those groups is basically gone. And so I'm just wondering if anybody has had that been brought to them or been thinking of, you know, in a camp setting, doing anything for rec swim.
Karen was wanting to talk, I think, or she had her hand up, or was that from before?
So in Walnut Creek, we obviously haven't opened yet, but that was one of my ideas, was to offer a camp swim. We run day camp for the city of Walnut Creek, and they are putting in place the groups of 12. So reducing the time that they're at the pool. I have a pretty large wading pool that I could offer probably 2 groups of day camp in at a time, and then just reducing the hours. I've got another day camp that's an outside agency that contacts us probably every week to find out if we've updated our plans. So right now I feel realistically I can start with lap swim and then look into offering some day camp swim as well during the weekdays.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, in San Mateo County, we're underneath the same kind of guidelines and restrictions. Ours is 4 weeks, and it sounds like your guys' in San Francisco is 3 weeks, but same thing of the classroom setting. 12 participants is ours per 2 counselors, 2 basically leaders, and they stay within the same room. They have to use the same equipment. so on and so forth. And it has to be for 4 weeks, which I thought was interesting too. And so some agencies were trying to work around that. And they were trying to use the language to their benefit that it's up to the city. And if the city's able to do that to the best of their capability or ability, I forget. But they kind of got flagged by the county, and they came back and they respelled it out. And so that is definitely set in stone with the 4 weeks. We haven't really tapped into that for the pool quite yet. We are looking to do it for our summer camps on the other side of the Parks and Rec department. And so that's kind of what Karen brought up. That's a good way of looking at it too, is just offering like a swim with just those 12 kids, and it'd be less, not a full day camp, maybe like a half day camp, like 4 hours too, because I can imagine we can only do so much in 4 weeks. So, but yeah, so some good information out there though. With Karen. So, thanks.
Thanks, guys. So consumer CSD, around this time, during the summer months, about 50% of our annual revenue comes from this time period. So we're focusing right now on the things that we can do, which is childcare. So with school ending this week, a lot of our staff just across all of our different recreation programs are getting reallocated to offer as many childcare opportunities as possible. So until we have a program open up, whether it's sports or aquatics or whatever it happens to be, anywhere from 25 to 30 of our hours of a 40-hour work week will be dedicated to childcare. So that's kind of where CSD is at. We're still trying to work on the county to get our pools exemptions outside of recreation swim. There is kind of a view, and actually Becky Hers, did you make it onto the call?
She did not.
She hasn't yet. Okay. I don't know why the password's not working for her, but basically the gist for Sac County is there is a view that our public pools really just offer open or recreation swim. So there's kind of a misconception that we offer more than that. So we're trying to get through to the county to get some exemptions to offer fitness-oriented classes, which would be include our like water aerobics and water fitness classes, lap swimming, organized program like our user groups for our swim team. So that's kind of where we're at. Peter, do you want to go ahead and talk? You just posted something.
So in Newark, we had a powwow today because we've been looking at doing an expanded camp program, utilizing our one site at Silliman. And today when I left, when we were done with our meeting, we were all good to go for July 7th. And then moments ago, the director said he had a conversation with the city manager, and seems like more cities are opening up camps and they're selling out like no one's business. So can we start ramping up as soon as June 15th? It's like, oh crap.
Yeah, it sounds like once we get approval, it's going to come down it's going to come down on us really quickly.
Yeah, we were planning for the 15th until this morning, and so I'm in the same boat. When I was told the 8th today, I was like,
Yeah, Justin, did you lay your part-timers off?
They're all furloughed, unpaid, so I'm working on recalling. Luckily, we kept them all on payroll, so I can just reactivate them and not rehire them. That's the saving grace I have at the moment.
Okay, yeah, because we laid off about 45 of our off-season staff, kept 4, and during high season we usually have about 180. So
Man, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to be light on staff because we haven't done any summer hiring, obviously, and I have guard classes that haven't run like we all have, but I think I have enough to get started with some basic level of programming. Unless I'm told on Friday when we meet that, well, you're going to open full bore, and I'm going to go, okay, well, how fast can you hire people?
Yeah. I'm trying to see if I can create a poll because I'm really curious to the people on the call, how many are seasonal operations and how many have year-round operations? But I have not found that yet. So I will keep you posted.
I think someone mentioned earlier swim teams. Is anybody thinking about conducting practices or how that's going to look like, or if your swim team looking at you guys to get that going? Any
So,
take?
oh, go ahead.
My current proposal is that we're going to start with no coached programs. So drop-in lap swim, kind of some independent activities, but we're going to push off anything coached for a few weeks and see how everything goes and what other agencies do.
Gotcha. Thanks, Justin.
Okay, so at CSD we have year-round swim teams. So they're really the ones that are trying to push in. We have year-round and a recreation swim team. Both are very vocal and have been trying to get in there. Our focus wouldn't be bringing them back first, but at the same time, to an extent, it comes down the squeaky wheel. It gets the oil. So, but I don't know what their understanding will be because USA Swimming posted a bunch of options, and what's been approved that I've noticed throughout the state has been a little less than that as far as lane usage, the swimmer usage per lane. So I've been trying to prepare them for that when and if we do actually open. But yeah, swim team, and Karen just posted swim team is phase 3. So it's not really it's definitely not our first opening phase either. So.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing with us. We're looking into phase 3, but I know our swim team's been pressing on us. And so I imagine it's kind of the same thing for the rest of you guys too. So thanks, guys.
Okay, any other questions out there? Any questions about the facility guidelines that were posted that we discussed last week? Is there a specific program now that some people have had more of a chance to review it? I know Peter is on the call for sure. I don't know if Matt, I haven't noticed if Matt looks like he's on the call as well. Well, if any time you guys have a question, go ahead and raise your hand, pop a question into the chat. Red Cross, do you guys have any updates for us?
Hey, Terry. You know what? No, we really don't. The only change since last week, I think we kind of announced it last minute there on the call when it was posted, is that considerations for aquatics facilities and lifeguarding document. I took a look at that. It's pretty in line with some of the stuff that your team put together. So I would just be aware of that and continue to check the guidance page.
I'm getting questions about guidelines. So the guidelines went out via our membership distribution list with CPRS. So Lauren sent out that email last Friday. I don't know if you have direct access to it right now. I also sent it to the operator groups yesterday and told them they can go ahead and distribute it. So that's where they are. So the email would have come from Lauren. She is our secretary. So if you are an aquatic section member, because that's the access that we have, that's the email access and membership directory that we have. So it automatically went there.
It's at the bottom of the email. It's kind of.
The PDF, I didn't check.
Yeah, it's PDF.
Perfect, even better. Lisa, if you got the email from Lauren last Friday, actually, Colin, do you know what time that email went out?
Yeah, let me pull it up.
Thanks.
The website was down, I heard yesterday when people were download it.
Yeah, they told us yesterday, or they told us it was going to be down basically from today until Friday.
Got it on Friday at 4:29 p.m.
The afternoon on Friday. Okay, thank you.
No problem. And it's located at the bottom as attachment if people got it.
Perfect.
Yeah, so the problem is, Terry, since there were so many attachments, it sent the attachments, they're not in the email. When you click on it, it sends you to the libraries, which they can't get to.
And it's probably because it's such a large document too.
Right. So unfortunately, it wasn't in actual, email.
Got it.
If
Okay.
anybody, I was gonna say we can talk about ways to get it out, maybe.
Yeah, there's a couple of people who sent me their email, so I'll download the chat and try to get them to you guys. I mean, we're doing our best. Like, I'll just be real with you guys. Membership is priority, and all of us are really trying to push out the information the best way we know how, and as fast as we possibly can. So, you know, like, that's why I sent it over to Google Docs. Yeah, we can if you want, Steph. Stephanie just emailed me about putting it into a Google Doc, so we can flip it into that. That's fine. I'm also going to share it. I think it's the NRPA Aquatic Network. I was going to share it because there is a link and a page that it's collecting opening procedures and such with the different through different states. So I'm going to share it there too. And Peter Byers is saying, send him an email if anybody wants it. I'm kind of doing multiple things right now, which is why I'm not really answering everybody. So you guys message Peter Byers. He said he'll drop it to you via email. And then I'll download the chat that I have and send it after this is over as well.
And also another resource, the Red Cross released a document as well that's pretty in line with the one that our task force did. So that's available on the Red Cross website, and I'm going to put that in the chat right now. So that's another resource for you guys.
Perfect. Thanks for finding that. Yeah, I know the guys.
My email, and Tara said it was very similar to what the gentleman put together for us. So if anything, it's definitely another option or to use together.
Well, and I know the guys really use the Red Cross as a resource too. Yeah. So cool. So the other thing, we are going to start going down to probably, I haven't decided as a board yet, but we aren't going to really offer these weekly anymore. We're going to look at doing every other week or once a month at this point. And it's gonna, we would post it on our Facebook page as far as when, and of course we would send it out via our Google, or not our Google, but our membership as well, and then make sure the user groups are aware. So just so you guys know that in advance. We do have one more slated for next week before we go into an every other or a monthly process. So yeah. All right. I mean, like I said, today is an open forum, and if we can get presenters and so forth for future, we will go ahead. I think we actually have one slated potentially for next week. So we're going to start looking at doing some more webinars and presenters when we start doing these monthly as well.
Terry, I thought I heard Kasunas is opening up their daycare. Is that to ascend?
Yeah, we're focusing on what we can do, childcare.
Yeah, we're doing that as well. They're going to I'm going to be running a room 5 days a week, so for a couple hours, and then doing the billing afterwards. So we're all in daycare mode now.
Yeah, so it's going to start as early as next week. I'm not slated for next week, but I likely will be after that. And I already warned the board that with the way the hours are, I won't be able to moderate these calls anymore.
Yeah.
At least not fully.
Totally.
So yeah, I know. Our board's phenomenal, and I'm very grateful. And I'm grateful for, I know you guys have heard me say it before, but I'm incredibly grateful for our aquatic community. You know, it is a special community, and we depend on each other a lot. So, all right, Peter posted his email in there. So if you shoot him an email, he'll send you the document sooner than later. If you're sending it to me, I'm sending it to you later. All right. And
I'll
just,
try to get the link on Facebook too. So
are you doing it right now?
no, but I will after.
Perfect. Perfect. All right, guys. I mean, if we, again, it's open forum. So if we don't really have any questions about anything, I don't know. Do we have
question?
Perfect.
Anybody do any fun over Memorial Day? Did you break any rules? Did you get out? I agree with you, Terry. I talked to someone and they're like, well, the conversations are definitely slowing down. I think
Yep.
that everybody's in this mode. You know, we have a nice document from PPM and we have a really nice document for LA County that's going to be specific to their county probably soon. But it's, you know, I think there's only so many times you could say, how would you teach a swim lesson? No offense. How would you maybe deal with this if it ever happened? How would, you know, so we keep saying there's just a lot of theory. And so I agree. Thank goodness for our aquatic peoples and hang in there. But I think you're probably ready to go backwards a little bit, and slow them down.
I got 2 sunburned fishing for striper or sturgeon on this weekend, so that's what I did.
I took Dobson up to my cabin with Keith Haas and we dug a sewer line basically and dug out a big old drain and stuff. It was pretty exciting.
There you go.
No way.
While Dobson was schooling everybody in Cornhole.
Wow. And
I went
for
to my
those-
cabin and hiked. It was a beautiful day.
Yeah, there you go, Justin. Good to see you, man. Congratulations on being in Berkeley. I just heard that.
Thanks.
And then for those of
Congratulations,
you,
a lot of potential.
For those
It
of you
sure
who
does.
guys, for those of you who don't know, Dobson's actually our director. So it's comical to find out when he does things like digging ditches and things like that for me.
Beard, or is it trimmed now?
What was that?
Does he still have the big beard, or has he trimmed it?
No,
He's got that COVID thing going. It's ugly.
and it's getting very gray, I noticed as well.
Ooh,
So.
shots
Hey,
fired.
Colin. Oh, hi, Steph. Colin, I think you could give him a lesson in beard trimming, bro.
I'll mention that to Dobson next time I see him.
Yeah, you tell him that Wheeler said he needs to take a lesson in beard trimming.
I'll relay the message for you guys,
Sure, Terry.
and I'll duck while I relay it.
It's recorded. He can just listen to the conversation.
That is true. I will just push it to him. Yeah, that's funny.
I'm sure this conversation is boring for the other 90 people on the line, so.
We only have 72 today, so it's okay.
Yeah, we're like more than half of what we usually are. So basically the background on the password, apparently last Wednesday in the afternoon, District 1's board meeting got hacked, which is why with all of these calls, they went the direction of passwording them. So apparently it was pretty entertaining in a, gross kind of way. I don't know.
Yeah, I heard there was some disgusting hacking going on that like you would never dream imaginable that someone would post that.
Yeah.
That's pretty horrible.
Yeah, so I get where they were coming from. But I think we can kick people out. So I've learned a lot about Zoom. Yes, you can remove people.
Oh, that's good. So I think these hackers though figure out how to not let you. I heard someone told me that they had a meeting that got hacked. My neighbor, and they said someone threw on some porn and they couldn't stop it or turn it off or anything. It's like all bailed out.
Oh, really?
So I have so if you're in Alameda County, I know that Contra Costa County's done a really good job of talking with their public health and interacting. We haven't been so well. They have EOC every day at 4, and we're getting information from our like fire or rangers or whoever's in those calls. But next week, Amy Woolridge from Alameda set up a meeting with Alameda County Public Health, and I think 5 Park and Rec directors get the opportunity to talk to them. So if you're in Alameda County, you have anything specific you want asked, I have the opportunity to be in the room, which is just amazing to me that they actually let me in. So if you have questions about, you know, we're going to ask, is it really 12 or could it be 15? Why 12? You know, is it really just essential outdoor and additional, or anybody who has to work, right, from home or whatever? And then we'll get into the whole pool thing. I know that some swim teams are petitioning Gavin Newsom to get their pools open, some of the U.S. teams, and maybe you talked about that earlier today. I'm sorry. But they're pressing that forward too, and but I don't think I mean, when you're going to take a 25-yard pool diagram to the governor and say, look, USA Swimming says it can happen. I'm not sure they're looking at the bigger picture or taking like the operator approach, which we'll take with them of all the considerations in the what I'm calling the PPM document, or however that might work. So if you're in Alameda County and you're interested, I know that maybe someone from Contra Costa County, maybe Michelle Lacey, I heard, is going to sit in so that she can kind of figure out, you know, how as District 3 in these two counties had some pretty hard times with differences in the orders and the directives that have come out. You know, like the first one was tennis, no tennis. Contra Costa says tennis, Alameda says no. And how I got barraged by all these people, you know, it's happening everywhere else. So District 3, you know, it's not unique that it's multiple counties, but it's only 2 counties and they're close to each other. So hopefully we can get some kind of cohesion in the 2 approaches or what they're doing, especially when we start talking about how do we get a pool open. Which I have to be very honest with you, I personally am not in favor of opening pools right now. I don't care how bad you think you want to have a swim lesson. I don't think it's safe yet. That's just me. I could be 100% wrong. But I worry, like I've said 1,000 times, not about the pool and not about the program, but about the touch surfaces, the cleanliness, people not taking showers or taking showers, people not wanting to use bathrooms, and twice as many people peeing in the pool now, and just all kinds of stuff. So we'll see. There will come a time when it's safe to gather again, and at that time pools will open. But if you're like me, I mean, I couldn't run the pool if I wanted to because I got no hourly money and no employees. So, you know, what do you?
Thanks, Jim, for putting it out there. We actually had a question in the chat. Any agency have a target date for swim lessons? Is there one across the state that has a target date for swim lessons?
I wish, but no.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then also, Kevin is asking, is there a link for the Red Cross training on single person BVM?
So Terry, I was just trying to find that before I replied.
Sure.
If you guys look at the CPRO, hold on, let me find the actual name of the document. It is the CPRO guidelines for implementing a social distancing approach. And if you go to page 4 of that document, it talks about using it with one rescuer. So yeah, that's it.
Thanks, Tara. Yeah. Jim, thanks for cluing us in what Almeda's doing as well. We appreciate that. I actually had a conversation with a friend of mine with Sac County who knows the inner workings of trying to get into Sac County to have a closer conversation. And she basically kind of relayed a lot of the concerns you just relayed about touch surfaces. And I was like, well, our golf course is open. And so she kind of went into the whole like, you know, water, and even though you're in water and it's not communicated, what happens if somebody spits water up and somebody's close enough you can spit that far, and then the touch surfaces associated with getting in and out, how could you ensure they're getting cleaned after every person? And then there's the conversation of part-time staff, and yeah, so there's just a lot of conversations that are happening. But she did say that, like, for us to strengthen our case, what the other counties are doing is going to play a huge role, but more so the more concentrated counties like the Bay Area counties, more so, because District 2 has Sacramento County in it, but it also has El Dorado and Placer, who are more opened up than Sac County is right now. and then it goes all the way up to the Oregon border. So there are counties within District 2 that don't even have cases to report. So, but yet they're not comparable counties to Sacramento County, to where Bay Area counties or some of the Southern California counties are comparable. So
all you have to do is drive, like we drove up to Lassen, 0 cases. And as you leave, it gets better. I went to the hardware store in Susanville, and nobody was wearing nothing. It felt great. It was like normal. But yeah, as you go out, you know, Butte County and Chico's got restaurants open at 25% capacity, but you couldn't think of doing that with the dense population here. So it's different. I mean, again, for me, going back to pools, if someone's going to tell me I can open my pool if I wipe down the ladder after every single time someone touches it getting out of the pool, I'm going to say, no, it's not. No, we're not going to do that, right? And I know everyone's concerned about lifeguards being sanitarians and watching water and all that stuff. The one thing that was interesting, Joe Goss told me today that LA County Fire, in regard to rescues, said that the amount of time and the contact and the percent of the chance you're going to have when you swim out to rescue somebody, it's not even worth worry about trying to protect yourself. You just go get them out, and then glove up and do all the things you've always done. It's just part of the job. So who knows? You know, there's a bunch of different takes, and I think that's part of our problem, right?
yeah, 100%. And actually, Jim, do you know if Bay Area, and maybe Peter can speak to this, one of the things she was telling me yesterday is that the public health officers, there's 6 counties that are trying to be on the same page out in the Bay Area. Is that true?
Well, the 6 are unified. I'll let Pete go, but the 6 Bay Area counties have been unified from day one, but San Mateo broke ranks when they said they could open swimming pools. And between you and me and everyone on this call, I really believe that no one's going to keep Stanford swimming out of the water.
Got it. Yeah, and actually the update that Lauren sent out last week, if you have that email, I actually included the link for San Mateo's information. That came out, I think, on Wednesday or Thursday last week. I was going to say, Anthony, isn't that your city?
Correct. Yeah. City of Pacifica Falls in San Mateo County. The thing was very vague, the orders that came out, and you had to follow the ones that were in the other index of Title 22, basically all the social distancing parameters that we already know, 6 feet, wear your masks. And so so it should be interesting. I'm hoping to give it a go again with just the lap swim and water in July. I believe Daly City's fixing to do the same thing. San Francisco, I don't think it's opening up. I believe they might open up in July as well too. Yeah, it should be really interesting to see how it goes.
I'll tell you that San Francisco has a health head of the pools and the health in San Francisco. Corey Chrisman is how do I say this kindly? One of the most informed and particular health department people I've ever worked with in all these years. So what he decides to do, as well as working in San Francisco 2 years ago when I had a suspected norovirus wasn't true at my camp, and between Stanislaus and the head guy at San Francisco Public Health, they shut us down and were way overcautious. So I would be surprised if San Francisco gets anything open, and if they do, because of the dense population, the number of cases in the Bay Area, that's probably a good sign for people if they feel like they can, and might give you hope. But I'd be really surprised if they crack first, because I don't know. But it's interesting, Anthony, right?
Very interesting. Yeah, I was surprised it came so quick because I expected it in phase 3 coming 2 or 3 months. So we'll see how it goes. I'll keep you guys in tune.
So what are you going to do? You technically have the go, right?
Yeah, we had the go since last Monday, but we're getting everything in place. Obviously, all the policies, the procedures. We got to get the staff. We got to train the staff. We're going to make signages up. We're going to do the sign up genius. Only 1 lap swimmer per lap lane. 45 swims, 15 minutes to sanitize everything. Let's get the hour swimmers in.
You stud. That's awesome. You get to go first, and you get to figure it out and plow the way. That's kind of cool, actually. You know, but yeah, there's a lot. You know, we were talking camps and how we've had to basically blow up 600 kids a day in camp and put it at 30 sites instead of 5 and all that stuff, right, or 6. So that's really been a mess. But as we've been doing that, you know, it really comes down to those policies and procedures, and also just reevaluating training for all the cleaning and all the protection and all the stuff that's got to be. Fortunately, like I said, the MPP document, see, Matt, I put you first now. It's your turn. The MPP document is, you know, a great guideline for that. Those guys did a killer job on it.
I can't open the watermelon.
In a minute, yeah.
Definitely agree.
Okay, there is a question in the chat. Anyone considering upping their admission fees to help offset the cost of limited opening with extra work hours?
The beef industry approach.
We've actually started talking about that as well, because it's not going to be drop-in to where first come, first serve. And so how are we going to generate that revenue? We're going to put out a survey to all of our swimmers. And so I'm interested to see if anybody else has done that too. But that's one of the questions is, would you be opposed to an increase in fees? It's probably something like $1 more, as opposed to $5, $6 for seniors, as opposed to $6 for adults. It'll be $7. So we haven't raised that fee in quite some time, but we're definitely considering it for sure. I like the cleaning fee from Brian.
Yeah, the cleaning fee. And then Karen, do you want to talk about what you guys are proposing? Do you have numbers?
So we are, City of Walnut Creek is predicting obviously a revenue deficit going into our next fiscal year. So we are looking at raising all of our admission fees, swim lesson fees. Our current adult rate is $6. We're proposing going to $7. Youth is $4.50, would go to $5.50. Child is $3.50 to $4.50. So swim lessons, I don't have those numbers in front of me, but I believe that will be, I think it's like a 15% increase. So I don't know what my neighboring agencies are doing. We always try and keep kind of in line, looking at Concord, Pleasant Hill, Martinez. They have resident and non-resident rates. Walnut Creek doesn't. So we always try to stay right in the middle. And if they have not, if they're not raising their fees this season, we will be pricing ourselves way above them. So we'll see what happens. I think we have a finance committee meeting sometime this week. So we'll see what the finance committee goes for.
But people have always gone to Walnut Creek instead of Concord because of the friendlier staff, right, Matt?
Is that what it is?
We've done in the past, but this is not for the pandemic. We took away the child rate and just made it so that there was one flat rate for the adult and child. And that was one way you can kind of change it without increasing prices. It's something we tried.
Okay, Lisa's also asking if the fees will be permanent or will they be reduced again in the future?
Permanent.
Yeah, I'm thinking it would be permanent as well too. People here on the coast, the Pacificans, they can afford it.
Another question, anyone renting a school district pool for your swim programs? If so, is the pool open to use? So do school districts have access to their facilities yet? Approval to open?
So with the city of Pacifica, it's the Oceana High School pool that we use. It's part of the Jefferson Union High School District. And so they're not planning on using it currently. We'll see what they're going to do with their PE classes. But the way our contract is set up is have first dibs with the pool. And then anything after that, we get second dibs. And so so yeah, we are planning on utilizing it when they're not going to. So just pretty much status quo for us over here.
Well, as far as fees, like I know that I feel like that was touched upon when we were going over the guidelines last week for swim lessons, more specifically than just general open swim fees. But when your ratios are better, so if you're offering swim lessons to 3 kids instead of 6 kids, people have talked about raising rates. So at least for CSD, we go through benchmarking once a year and we get rates approved once a year. Some have scales and some don't, but we actually also are subject to city council because I happen to run a facility. Even though I'm a CSD employee, I run a facility that is owned by the city of Oak Grove. So I'm kind of caught between 2 masters, and it takes almost 4 weeks given approval of any new fees, and they don't like ranges. So we're locked in for what we got there. Okay, Peter's telling us that anybody who sent a request for the document to him, they would have gotten it, or they should have gotten it. Bianca, Santa Barbara County have not opened school pools to her knowledge. They do have a joint use agreement. So anybody on the call from a school district and you operate it? That would be interesting. Alrighty, so we have about 10 minutes left. Again, open for discussion. We are going to look at having a presenter next week, and next week would technically be our last COVID Zoom. And just to reiterate, we are gonna look at going to either every other week, depending on what's going on, or possibly just once a month. You know, some positives that have come out of this COVID-19 thing, oddly enough, I was actually hoping to potentially this upcoming year to do what we could to connect further across the state and bring pool operators together and connect our pool operator groups with the board and just membership. So this has forced that. And my initial plan was to possibly do a Zoom once a month. So we want to continue that. And then we are also looking at having more presentations and webinars as well. CAMS is still currently the in-person version of CAMS is canceled, but we are looking to do an educational seminar of some sort because this would have been our 20th year of CAMS. So just want to make sure we put that out to you guys. We also want to thank you. I want to actually thank publicly, of course, the board, specifically right now, Stephanie Molina and Andrew Hubbard, for all the water safety stuff that they did, and Stephanie more specifically for all the social media posting that she's been doing. So Andrew and his committee, which also consists of Tim, our treasurer, and Kasem, our Region 5 rep, really put together our partners for posting water safety education out there. So, and then Steph's really been taking the lead on getting traffic to our Facebook page and our Instagram page, which is like increased massively. So, and then thank you to everybody who's participated in the Drowning is Preventable, Wearing Red. You know, we've really gotten a lot of traffic, and a lot of agencies have shared what we've posted too, which has been really fun to see on the backside because I'm one of the admins of it as well. So just want to put that out there. You know, our aquatics community is really amazing, and even though we're not operating our pools right now, which as sad as it is for this time of year, you know, had a Memorial Day off for the first time in 25 years, which was really strange and oddly unsettling, but oddly settling, you know, might as well get a break. But, you know, one of our concerns is always going to be safety of our community, and our pools really provide safe environments and teach kids how to swim and even adults how to swim. So as much as that's not happening right now, I think we all really step up to kind of get the message out there to do what they can, swim with a buddy, you know, watch your children, be careful of rivers and lakes, etc. So we're probably going to keep posting a lot of that stuff outside of May, just because we're not actually at our pool facilities right now. So just want to put that out there. So if you have any content that you want us to post out there, you can email Steph or myself. We can do that.
I have.
Just gonna mute you, Justin. So just want to put that out there to you guys. So do we have any last, I just did a 3-minute spiel trying to get some questions in there. Do you guys have any last questions for us before we sign off? Do you guys have any feedback for us? We're going to look at creating a survey and send that out to see what you guys want to learn about, what we get you guys on calls to participate. And we're going to look for presenters. This is an opportunity. We can look for presenters across the country. So.
Thank you, Terry, Aquatics section and everything. It's been nice to have something consistent in these unique times. So thanks for all the hard work you guys did.
Thanks for saying that, Colin. We appreciate that. Oh, and I don't know if I announced this. I know that Pete DeQuincy was on a North Texan call this morning and shared the aquatic section, the guidelines that Peter, Pete, and Matt put together. So I'm assuming Peter and Matt are aware of that as well. Maybe I shouldn't assume, but yeah, I didn't hop on the call, but I know last week they had posted he was going to be on the call to share those guidelines. So
he was on a Washington call, actually like just the whole Pacific Northwest call, and talked about that as well. So hopefully that's okay. I think they waited for all of you to get it first and send it out.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. I mean, it seems to me California tends to be a little bit more strict.
Yeah.
And I think it's great. The intent of the resource, yeah, we're doing our best to distribute it as wide as we can, but there's only so much we can do. And our priority is the membership, but yet there is a greater priority. So feel free to distribute that document. That's what it's there for. So, hey, Rachel, yes, they've been posted on the CPRS website. Right now, that portion is down. Peter Byers, if you find him in the chat, he can probably send you a copy, or if you drop your email in there, I can shoot you a copy after this call. Gotcha. Well, okay. All right, well, as usual, I'm gonna go ahead and pop my email into the chat. If you guys have any questions or anything you want us to put forth during our next Zoom next week, and then again, apparently multitasking is not my forte today. Okay, there we go. Yay. Yes, same password. We will post it on the CPRS Aquatics section Facebook page, or yes, as an event within the event. We'll post it in there. I sent out a bunch of emails with it. I'm also going to give CPRS some feedback. I don't know if enabling a waiting room will keep the hackers out or not, but we don't utilize the waiting room. So that's kind of where we're at. Do we have any last words from anybody? Any of the board members have anything to say? Any of the actually, do the operator groups want to chime in and kind of update what your operator group is choosing to do? Usually this time of year, we have a bunch of events and so forth, like Nakama would have had Total Guard within the next week or so. So we would have had a water polo tournament at the end of the month.
I know, it's gone.
Colin, do you want to go? I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you want to update for Nakama, and then we'll see if anybody's on the call from the other operator groups?
We basically closed up shop for Nakama. We do occasional meetings with Zoom. We plan on having one later this, I believe we have one in June coming up. And then besides that, everything's basically been postponed. It's unfortunate. Maybe we can get into some of the more old school stuff, like the throwbacks to like a membership shout out, things like that. Maybe we can start doing that. But people have been emailing, asking about stuff, and we've been networking and stuff like that, and being a resource. But yeah, unfortunately, no water polo tournament for me to put a Speedo on and throw around 16-year-olds and feel like a man. But yeah, unfortunately.
Colin.
One of my favorite things to do. But anyways.
Colin likes that. That's why we let him come train with us now.
All right. Anybody on the call from APOA, SCAPOA, or San Diego Aquatic Council? Don't forget to unmute yourself. Okay, nada. I also believe a lot of the groups offer scholarships around this time of year for CAMs. You know, that might change for people. I know for aquatic section, we're gonna like reallocate our scholarship funds. Stephanie also posted into our chat. We do have a YouTube account now and our weekly chats, at least the ones we were able to capture, because I messed one of them up. I will fully admit that. They are on YouTube. So if you want to get on our weekly, see a past weekly chat, I think last week is included. Stephanie, can you confirm that?
Yeah. It's there.
So last week with going through the guide with Matt, Peter, and Pete, going through the guidelines, that will be posted in there as well. So yeah. All right, with that, if there's nothing else, give it 10 seconds. All right, thank you again, you guys, so much for joining us. Just check out our different resources that we have. Yeah, and we're doing our best to be there for you guys and for each other. So just keep on keeping on as we move through. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Aquatics.
Thank you. Take care, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.